Hey everyone, on Les Stroud's Wild Harvest, I get the opportunity to show you a few tips and some techniques for gathering wild edibles. But this is only meant to open the doors for you to an amazing adventure of being out here and partaking of the wild harvest. The only way to truly and safely identify a plant so that you can harvest it and harvest it properly is to seek knowledge from a local expert. Use your books, go online, but find somebody locally who's passionate about wild edible plants. Take their courses, and then you can safely enjoy the wild harvest. You know, for years, whether it was Survivorman or Beyond Survival or many other series that I've worked on, including, of course, now Wild Harvest, it's the research trips, the scouting, the learning that I get to do that gets me the most excited. As you start to explore local foraging, you'll find that it's those trips you do to scout an area, to look for plants. You'll come across plants like this one right here, serviceberry. It's not ready yet, but you know that it's here now. Or plants that were ready 2 weeks before you got there. You'll remember that for next year. It's so much fun to get out and to scout locations to do local foraging. Because the research and the learning, those are your tickets to the wild harvest.
This is incredible.
Isn't this crazy? And I found this just by being curious while I was scouting, looking around to see what I could find in terms of wild edibles, and I really didn't know where I was going. And I had one of those bitten with that bug of, oh, I wonder what's up over there. I wonder what's around that next corner. And so I looked up here and I thought, I got to climb that rock and just see what's up here, and found this. And I thought, this is where I'd like to bring you.
Amazing.
Rather than just give you this first plant as a culinary delight, something we can put in a salad or you can cook or dig up in any way, shape, or form, simply eat, I'm going to throw you a little bit of a loop. This one you can't eat. It's an aromatic.
Okay.
And it's right behind you. It's right at your hands right there. That's big sagebrush. Grab some and have a smell. See your eyes come alive with it.
Aromatherapy.
Isn't that great?
Straight up. Oh, wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's dimensional. It doesn't really have just one floral tone to it. It's all over the landscape.
So it's really easy to get confused and think, oh, it's sage. It's actually not the sage family at all. Sage is in the mint family. This is an entirely different genus, Artemisia tridentata, sagebrush. And in fact, it's toxic. So we can't eat the leaves, but as an aromatic, is it working for you?
Oh, I love it. It's great. I'm blown away. One smell, like even the residual on my fingers right now.
I just thought if you could kind of sculpt the meal around this western sagebrush, and the fact that it is an aromatic, so you can incorporate it into the recipe as well in one way, shape, or form, I thought would be exciting for us.
Yeah, I like this. This is a good one.
Gonna work?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go on to the next one. Growing in arid or semi-arid conditions, you can find big sagebrush in the North American West from British Columbia to Baja California and across to New Mexico. Look for it in the mountains, cold deserts, and steppes. Growing right beside the sagebrush is balsamroot, a good indicator for the health of an ecosystem. This member of the sunflower family can be found in the dry and open meadows of the mountain west of North America. All right, Paul, come on in. I did say to you at one point, we were chatting, I said, you know, the next plant is almost the opposite of the first plant being the sagebrush. Why I say that is because the sagebrush, it's not a culinary plant really, it's aromatic. And we can't even ingest it because it's toxic. This is the opposite. Every part of this plant is edible all year long. So this is the arrow-leafed balsam root, and this is your mainstay for the meal. The challenge is not every part is so palatable. What you'll find with this is that the larger, older leaves, they tend to get a bit fibrous, but you can offset that by cooking them. The root is actually the most cherished part. It's kind of like a carrot in a way. So there's always a little bit of bitterness to deal with with plants like these.
Well, there's a lot of aroma there as well. It smells like pine resin. It's intense.
It is.
It really is. Like this is going to be a challenge to knock that flavor down.
Yeah.
Like boiling's a good idea. The leaves are extremely bitter.
Bitter, eh?
Yeah.
Did you try the petals?
I did, not as bitter. I actually liked them, but they still had a bitter undertone, but it's a different bitter. Definitely manageable.
The beauty of this plant for me, I've never tasted it. It's a new one for me, and this is one of the things I love so much is discovering new plants. So when I'm out with you and I can enjoy a plant that I've never enjoyed before, it's just a bonus day. Perfect specimen. That's what I'm looking for right there. Ow! Ah! Ah!
Did that suck?
Yes, that sucked. There's cactus everywhere, and I leaned down on one with the full force of my weight on my elbow. I'm bleeding from my craft. Here we go. Now the job's getting fun. That smell. And why am I in the Burrowing Owl Winery? Well, with all the talk of terroir that Paul and I always do, the flavor, the ambiance, the aroma of a particular area, well, we're in wine country. So I thought, okay, maybe his surprise can simply be wine. He loves to cook with wine anyway. All he has to do is pick his favorite varietal from this winery, and he can put that in the mix. This is gonna be good. Oh, okay.
What do we got?
The reveal. You already know some of what's underneath here, right? So we've got our sagebrush, and then the balsam root, right? So that's going to be the big thing, experimenting with the leaves, the petals, the taproot. For the third and final ingredient, and the only surprise in this mix, I thought, well, let's take a look around. I mean, where are we right now? And I figured, well, we're in wine territory.
Oh.
So, you have the choice of any wine from this vineyard to cook with. We've got 3 reds and 3 whites, but I want you to take the sagebrush, the taproot, the leaves, the petals, and find what kind of wine works with the meal. So, what's your reaction? What do you think now that I've asked you to put the challenge of cooking with some wine?
Do you know what? It is actually a gift. One reason in particular is I haven't really thought about the protein as of yet.
Okay.
So to dial a wine in with the flavor of a protein is going to be a really good starting point. But then I have to think about the bitter flavors. There's most definitely going to be some experimentation.
Now, you've already smelled the sagebrush. You've already tasted the balsam root. You tasted the taproot from the balsam root. Why don't we simply go somewhere and taste these wines and figure out how the wine works?
I like the way you think.
That's a deal? All right, let's go.
So I think the best thing I can do is try and showcase all of these components, the flower, the stem, the leaf, the root. So they kind of are holding their own, but still add up to a delicious dish. I'm thinking a salad of sorts, but not really. It's more of an appetizer. I'm gonna crack it like a lobster. That is crazy, the smell that's coming off of this. I'm gonna cook these like a potato. I'm gonna bring them to a boil rather than drop them into boiling water. I have an idea how to handle these extremely bitter leaves, and that's to mix them with something that's extremely sweet, which in this case is honey. All right, time for me to check out the stems. Okay, found my first win. The fiber's gone, I've got a great crunch, the flavor's mellowed, and now it is more along the lines of a green bean. That's good. I'm treating this stem like asparagus and peeling the outside and letting it come apart where it's tender. I'm also using my fingernails kind of as a tender test, putting my fingernails in, and I can tell where the resistance is. If it's too woody and it doesn't give, it's gonna be tough to the teeth. It kind of reminds me texturally of a combination of a green bean and asparagus at this stage. Okay, I think I'm there. Time to drop these flower stems in cold water, stop the cooking process. So the important thing about blanching and refreshing is the change of temperature, specifically extreme hot to extreme cold. What you achieve is, number one, you control the cooking process so you don't overcook it by having it sit out on the counter, but the added benefit is color. And color comes alive. You need cold water to do that though. Warm water won't do the trick. One thing most definitely though is it's your palate, it's your taste, it's how you like to cook. If you like things to be crispy, cook them less. If you like things to be soft, cook them longer. Blanch and refresh.
This beautiful plant right here, Artemisia tridentata, the big sagebrush. It truly is the symbol of the West. And this one, you can kind of figure it out for a positive identification by looking at the ends of the leaves. Let's see if you can see that against my hand there. See that? See, it looks like little fingers there? That is a way to know that this is big sagebrush. And as well, the thing to note is the silvery gray appearance of the leaves. You can just take a look at them and you can see how it's just got this beautiful silvery, greenish, grayish hue to them. Beautiful way to identify this shrub. The other thing to be cautious of with this particular plant is it's highly allergenic. So some people may get allergic reactions in touching the skin with the plant. And as well, it's highly toxic. You cannot take this internally. Mostly it's used medicinally, it's used for smudging, for incense, that kind of thing. But you cannot eat these leaves. It is toxic. So it has to be treated as such and utilized really if you have great experience in working with a plant that is otherwise toxic but usable in the aromatic sense. So you want to be really careful with these.
Okay, I've got the first course. It's not going to be big, but it doesn't need to be big. This is kind of a palate teaser. I want Les to get the flavors of the stem and understanding the different parts, at least a few of the different parts. The flower, the stem, and the leaf. Now the one thing to this dish, to give it some bulk, I'm using some apple, which will make the dish more substantial. Here's something, Les, I don't think we'll see coming. Okay,
All set?
I'm gonna let you open this up.
All right. Kev, you all ready?
Rolling.
This is the moment. Oh. That's amazing.
So
That's the sagebrush.
that's the sagebrush.
Okay. I completely enjoyed the aroma there. I got it. It wasn't lost to me at all. There was a bit of a break in the wind when I went for it, and yeah, that sagebrush smell is just heavenly. How do you want me to eat this?
The best way is eat it as a whole, but pay attention to where it sits on your palate.
Completely unexpected flavor. I need another go with this. I've never had this flavor in my mouth before. I'm gonna try this again. You know what? I want to give you my impression on this, but what about the wine?
Okay, that's the curveball.
Okay.
I haven't tried this together as of yet,
Shall we?
but I think we should. Cheers.
That was a good pairing, buddy. You paired it up beautifully. Well, okay, here's my reaction then. As I was eating it, you're absolutely right. Every single spoonful had a different flavor. That's a nuance to eating that I think is often lost.
Yeah.
You know, we eat a meal and you almost want every forkful to be exactly the same as the last because you're eating something you enjoy, but that's not very adventurous. It's not much fun. This is more fun. Every single spoonful was different from the last in terms of its flavor. What I did notice was that aromatic nature of this particular dish, and I'm not even speaking about the sage at this point, the sagebrush, I'm talking about the bitter, the balsamroot bitterness, which again, very gentle. As I ate it, it traveled across my tongue, but the whole thing went like a wave up into my nose.
Wow.
As far as I'm concerned, you got a complete win on your hands.
Excellent. This next dish actually requires a whole bottle of wine. Good thing we like wine. All right, this dish does not need skin on the chicken breast, so I'm just gonna pull that off. That goes into the wine. The key here is to gently simmer the chicken, not hard boil it. I wanna make sure that everything stays nice and tender. Chicken and wine. It doesn't get much more classic as far as two flavors coming together to make one big flavor profile. Okay, that chicken is almost there. My hunch is whatever heat is left over, that residual heat, is gonna cook it all the way right to that nice tender point of perfection. But look at that color. I'm making a rice flour slurry. Water, rice flour, that's it. I'm using this to thicken the wine. That's been reducing. I'm gonna taste this stock. Okay, that's a nice surprise. The flavor of the root has actually made a wonderful stock. I think I'll use it to glaze the onions and mushrooms and everything I have for the coq au vin. I'll just cook that down. Time to strain the red wine sauce into here, and then one more time, I'm gonna let it reduce, let the flavors develop, and that should add a nice complexity to this dish. Okay, I feel like I made some good choices there. I've got these blanched leaves left over from when I was playing with them earlier, and I think they have a place in this dish. So here's the trick. They've been cooked for about 4 to 5 minutes. I'm rolling them like a cigar, and I'm just gonna press them together so they stick. Kind of looks like a cigar or a grape leaf roll. I'm looking for just a nice round slice that I can add to the plate that will be a flavor bomb of the balsam root leaf. It really does look like a cigar. Gonna get my flowers organized. Even though it's windy, I can smell that. Okay, I think I'm there.
Wow.
So what you have is chicken and wine.
Oh, okay. All right.
And essentially it's chicken that's been poached in the same wine that we're about to drink. And then I used the wine that I cooked the chicken in, combined with the liquor or the stock from cooking the balsam root for hours and hours and hours to make the base of this sauce.
Oh, like almost, yeah, so you've extracted the broth.
That's it. The one thing that is a little bit misleading when you think chicken is it has to go with white wine. And in this case, it goes with red wine, and it's cooked in red wine.
Okay.
And it's a big flavor dish.
Wow. Let me do a bite here with the balsam root prominent. It's there, but it's pretty nuanced. You really have to. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, no, it's gone again, sort of thing. So if anything, I would actually sprinkle, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I would sprinkle more of this on. Why not? It's not bothering me right now in terms of bitterness, and I really want to get the balsam root in there.
The fiber was the #1 roadblock in dealing with balsam root.
Okay, last question then. Why the Merlot for this particular dish, and why continue the pairing by having us also drink the Merlot?
So if you smell the wine, just in the way that we talk about terroir, and we had the sagebrush smoke with the first dish, this is bringing us back to the winery. This is bringing us to this time and place, our location. This wine really, to me, smells earthy and dynamic, and this dish is an earthy dish.
This is actually a wonderful discovery of mine, that in our quest to enjoy local foraging, to enjoy the wild harvest, it's not just me that is exploring and learning, but you are as well in the kitchen. And that's actually what I think probably the most exciting part of this entire journey for Chef Paul and I. I'm growing as a result of connecting with these plants. Chef Paul is growing as a chef in connecting with entirely new plants. And in the end, researching and learning about the natural world, that truly is the magic of the wild harvest. If you'd like to continue the wild harvest with me and Chef Paul Rogalski, then please check out our website at wildharvestfilms.com, where we have recipes and foraging tips along with deleted scenes and outtakes from the making of Les Stroud's Wild Harvest.
Directly inspired by the series, Chef Paul and expert forager Les Stroud bring you the Wild Harvest Season 2 recipe book. Highlighting all of Paul's dishes and complete with behind-the-scenes stories, it is available for $29.99. In addition, a DVD of this season is also available for $19.99. To order, please go to wildharvestfilms.com, Wild Harvest TV Show on Facebook, or Les Stroud's Wild Harvest on YouTube.